Pro cosplaying tip slash sewist tip. If the padding in your ironing board is getting low or losing its oomph, you can always bulk it up with sheets of felt. That's what I did with this one, and now it works great. I'm ready to go for the next cosplay. Hi, hello, and welcome to the Fluffy Tail household, where there's nothing but good fuzzy vibes here. Today we're starting on part 2 of the Medli cosplay from Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. Now we're gonna work on her dress today. I already have a pattern picked out, so let me show you. So I'm using McCall's 7862, and I'm gonna use dress A. Now it doesn't show it on the front, but it's kind of like this one and these sleeves. But that's the pattern I'm gonna use. It's a very simple pattern, and I'm gonna cut out the lining first. The reason why I am cutting out the lining first is because I'm going to make parts of the lining longer than the actual outside fabric. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to pin the lining to the outside where the hems are, and that way the inside will be very, very clean, and so will the outside. This is like a bag lining, but I'm just adding a little bit more and using it to make the hem, so I don't have to cut extra fabric to make the hem. But anyway, let's get started. So for dress A, I will only need a few pieces, which is the front, the back, the pocket, sleeve A, and then I head all the way down, front neckband, back neckband. I don't need hem facing because, like I just said, I'm going to make basically my own hem. So those are the pieces we're gonna cut out. right, here's the pattern all cut out. I got it cut out of the green and the blue. I did add, if you saw in like the relapse, I did add an extra inch onto the green. I didn't have enough green to cut out the sleeves, but that's okay. I just really need the fashion layer part. So I cut out the blue and then I cut out like a little trim that will go underneath so it'll have that green poking out like it does in her costume. But otherwise, this is all good, ready to go, and I'm ready to start sewing. I stopped machine stitching for now. Right now what I want to focus on is sewing up the pocket holes. I'm going to hand stitch them. This will give me more control and it'll look neater. The bottom hem, I'm not going to worry about that right now. I may cut a little bit off just because I want this to be a little bit thicker at the bottom. We'll see. I'm going to play around with it, but my main focus right now is going to be the sides. I'm going to take this embroidery floss and I'm going to make like an X pattern all up the sides, maybe on the back if I have enough. I want to do this just for aesthetic purposes, just to like add something like else, give it a little bit of zhuzhing up. I know it doesn't show like little stitch markings in the game, but this is also a cosplay, so you can make it however you want, and that's what I want to do with it. So that's what I'm going to focus on right now. So I did decide just to cut a little bit off, but now I'm just gonna roll the hem up and pin it. I'm gonna make it as even as possible. And then I'm gonna sew the top and sew the bottom. And then after that, we'll tackle the sleeves. The dress is complete. I'm not too impressed with the neckline, but I'm not going to worry about the neckline. Right now, I'm going to do a paper pattern of the square rectangle piece that goes in the front. I don't know the name of it. I've been trying to look up the name of it, but you guys will know what it is when I start drawing it, so no big deal. Okay, I had to cut out the two pieces off camera. I'm just gonna call it her little tapestry piece. I honestly do not know the name. I was looking it up for like 20 minutes trying to find out what this little section is called. So if you guys know, please tell me, because I feel like I know what it's called, I just can't find the right name. Anyway, the little tapestry piece. I'm gonna attach it with snaps on the front and the back. I wanted to do it like a circle, like so you can put it over your head, but it just wasn't working out that great. I didn't like the way the pattern looked, and I was kind of struggling with it, and I'm like, you know what, snaps fix everything, and plus nobody's gonna see this. I cut out two pieces, so now I'm gonna sew these two pieces together just for extra strength. I'm also gonna iron them, and then we will get started on the little details. This part is now finished. All I did was flip it and iron it to make it nice. Now I'm going to use the Scissor iron-on vinyl. I really like this stuff, especially the Scissor brand or Sicer brand. I don't really know how to say it. I just call it Scissor. I really like this brand. I've used it multiple times on different things, different cosplays. So it'll just be the easiest to use it on this one. I'm going to start out with the trim, because our trim is not very much. It's just like a little trim of gold. And then at the bottom, there's like these little curly cues. And in the middle, there's like these 3 moons, but honestly, it looks like a hazard symbol more than anything. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. And this stuff is really easy. You just draw on the back of it with like a pen. And then just make sure you cut out close to the pen lines so they don't show up on your vinyl. Okay, I had to turn off the camera for a bit because this stuff took a long time to cut out, but I'm really happy with it, so I'm going to start ironing. Okay, so last night was an absolute fail. I did not like the way it was turning out. I did not like the striping. Luckily, I was able to peel it off and save this piece, which good because I didn't want to cut out another piece. But what I'm doing, if the gold trim doesn't go all the way to the end, I use some acrylic paint. And it actually saved this piece. Like, just doing a little bit of acrylic paint on the ends, it looks fine. It looks absolutely fine. So I'm going to keep going with that. I'm going to keep doing the striping and then the acrylic paint and then adding on the little details and call this piece done because I'm ready to go. I have my acrylic paint, so yeah. Alright, this took me a really long time. I don't know if it's the vinyl. I feel like it is. It might be old because during the Joann's closeout sales, you know, they get all this stuff from the warehouse. I don't even know how long it was sitting in the warehouse, but yeah, it felt old, even on tester pieces. I was trying like little teeny pieces too, and it was still like bubbling and rippling, and I don't know what was up with it. If I were to redo this project, I would definitely choose like gold bias tape or ribbon or something else. I do love this vinyl. It was just, I think I just got a bad batch. Other than that, you know, it looks decent from far away. Luckily, this is not a competition piece or anything. I'm glad that the gold paint really fixed the edges. This piece won't be like washed or anything, and this fabric was already pre-washed before I did this project. So anyway, we're gonna move on. I'm gonna let it dry, and then I will sew on the snaps later. Alright, I'm now moving on to the neck like scarf piece. This piece I'm not going to put too much emphasis into, but what I want to do is basically cut out like kind of a trapezoid shape. I think that'd be fine because then when it wrinkles up, it's just going to like kind of squish flat. There doesn't need to be really any shape to this, to be honest. Since it's just going around my neck, like I can just put it on over the stuff. It looks really cute so far. I don't know why I was trying to overcomplicate this piece. I really shouldn't have. The trapezoid method worked fine, and I like how scrunched up it is. This piece isn't pinned on or anything. I just kind of put it up to me to see how it looked. But now I'm going to take this button and sew it right here, and there's like a little red sigil, like the gold one on here. So what I'm gonna do is like a Mod Podge method. I'm gonna put Mod Podge over this, put the little paper, and then Mod Podge it again. And it should work just fine. Mod Podging method pretty much works for a lot of things, so yeah. And then after that, I need to sew the snaps front and back onto these little pieces. And then the last part of the day is the socks, which I hope is not complicated. It seems like all the other things were so complicated for whatever reason, or I made them overcomplicated, and this project is just taking longer than it should have. But otherwise, so far for the look, pretty cute. Okay, so what I did is I cut the shape out of this envelope that almost feels like cardstock, and now I'm going to take the shape and place it on to the button. I think that's good. Somewhere right in the middle. I'm going to Mod Podge this surface first, stick this shape on, and then Mod Podge it over again. I don't need a lot, just a little bit, a thin coat. Okay, stick my shape on. I think I'm gonna do it this way. Sticking to my finger. There we go. Stuck down. Okay. And make sure it's really stuck down. And then I'm gonna wait for this to dry and Mod Podge it over. Okay, it is dry. I'm just kind of brushing some Mod Podge over. It's alright if it's a little thick. I'm going to try to thin it out just so that it's really stuck on there. And then we'll get back to you guys when it fully dries. Hello, kitty. It's done. Yes, Mod Podging it was the right thing to do. This is just a flat shank button I had, but it looks so good. And I really like it, and it's just an easy way to do this cosplay, so I don't have to make like a button and a little thing from scratch, which I could have totally done, but just for the sake of getting this project done, this was much easier. Last part of the video, we're to the home stretch. Now I'm just gonna use orange fabric paint and just paint on the lines of her bird feet. I'm not gonna be like too in depth with this one either. I'm just painting lines, and I'm just gonna do them where I think they would look best. I'm doing thin layers too, so it dries really quickly. Sorry I have to stand back kind of far to get the full silhouette, but this is it. She is finished. I did the dress, this thing that I still don't know the name of, the shoes and the socks, and the little neck piece. And I love all the little details. Now there are some things I would change if I were to do this in the future or redo it, or if you guys were to redo it, I would definitely get some gold ribbon for this part and maybe some beads or something. The vinyl was just not doing it for me, but I tried to fix it up as best as I could. And the little neck piece, I probably would have picked a stronger fabric, but this gauzy fabric was all I had, and it just kind of matched, so I just kind of went with what I had. I'll show you guys a close-up. So, a close-up of this neck piece, little button, the dress. I really love the stitching on the side. And if I can get my leg up, the socks with the little orange stripes on them are really cute. Thank you guys for sticking around. We're all done with this part. Time to move on to the harp. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good day.